Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing the biggest book unhaul that I've ever done in my life. I'm getting rid of hundreds of books. I'm going to try to show you as many of them as I can. I have to kind of run back and forth because all of the books are in boxes to be donated in the other room. So I started off with some here and then I'm going to get into it. I was going to show you guys in my vlog of while I was reorganizing my bookshelves exactly what I was getting rid of, and then I was like, this is gonna take forever. I'm just gonna do a separate unhaul video, so here we are. But anyway, I talked about this in my Owl Crate video. I was reading the life-changing manga of tidying up. I've read the life-changing magic of tidying up, and I came across this one panel that just really resonated within me. Wow, I turned right to it. So she says, imagine a bookshelf filled only with books you love. Isn't that the ultimate dream come true? And I think that it is. There were so many books that I was holding on to because I was trying to keep my rainbow. I had gone to book signings and gotten books signed. There were books that I was like, maybe I might read this at some point, but if I've had them on my shelf like forever, then I think it's probably time to let them go. So I really want to get better about reading books and then really only keeping my absolute favorites that I know that I'm going to reread, that I have like a really strong connection to, or what have you. So I'm getting rid of so many books. All right, let's get started because this video is going to be forever. In box one here, I have the Selection series by Cass, which is the Selection, the Elite, the One, and Happily Ever After, which is like the short stories. I'd previously gotten rid of The Crown and the Heir, so these ones were really fun to read, but I cannot see myself going back and rereading these at any point. Bye-bye. Also by Cass, I am getting rid of The Siren. This one I have not read, but I've heard horrible things about it, so I don't really want to waste my time. This one I struggled with a bit, but I am going to be getting rid of We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and I actually already have another copy of this because I did really enjoy this book. So this is the deluxe edition, and it's funny, but I'm actually getting rid of the deluxe edition and keeping my original edition because I decided that I like the cover better. It's more like beachy and I like that it has the water tones, and this one is sparkly, which is pretty, but I don't need two copies and I decided to keep the other one. In the next box, which I think I'm just gonna hold up all at once because can't do this, but I'm getting rid of all of the Vampire Academy series. I really enjoyed the first and second book when I read them, or it took me forever to read the second book because I like read it while I was on vacation and then kind of just stopped, but I got back to it, I read it, I enjoyed it. I read the third one and enjoyed it. Have not read 4, 5, and 6 yet, but I figured that if I ever do want to revisit this series, I can always pick them up from the library and read them that way. I know they have them on Overdrive, so that's the plan with those. I thought these were fun, but again, can't see myself rereading these, so I'm parting with them. My next box here, I am getting rid of Fairest by Marissa Meyer. I love the Lunar Chronicles, but I didn't like Fairest, but I was really only holding on to it because I was like, oh, I need all of the Lunar Chronicles collection. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, why do I? I'm never gonna reread this one. I get that it's part of the series, but I really don't need it. I just need the ones that I love. This one might feel a little bit shocking, but I am also getting rid of Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. I enjoyed this book when I read it, but I really love Fangirl. That is like my rainbow book, and Carry On too, both of those. I thought this one was good, but it wasn't like my favorite thing ever, and this is another one that I was really holding on to because I was like, I need all of Rainbow Rowell's books, but again, no, I just need the ones that I love. I'm also getting rid of The Duke of Bannerman Prep by Katie A. Nelson. This one I haven't read, but I, again, can check it out from the library if I decide that I want to. Next is The Lovely Reckless by Cami Garcia. Haven't read this one, but it doesn't sound like anything super special. Next, I know some people are going to be disappointed in this, but I decided that I'm going to get rid of Eon and Iona by Alison Goodman. I know this is one of like a couple of my friends' favorite books, but I don't think that I'm going to get to them. I've heard that a lot of people liked them like back in the day, but I've heard that they really don't hold up. I just can't see myself investing the time into reading both of these when apparently they're not as good as people remember. I've had them for a long time, so sorry. This one I like kept going back and forth on, but I'm gonna unhaul Invictus by Ryan Groden. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really good, but I can't see myself rereading it. And that's where I'm trying to be like really strict with myself. Like no matter how much I enjoyed a book, if I don't think that I'll reread it, I should make space on my shelf for something that I will love and will reread. And then I'm also going to be getting rid of Wolf by Wolf and Blood for Blood by Ryan Groden. And again, these I can always check out from the library if I decide that I want to read them. But I don't read much historical fiction, and that's kind of why I'm unhauling them. Be right back while I get more books from the other room. I'm just knocking my lighting over. Let's see how this video comes out. Next box. I am going to be getting rid of Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glen Marsh. I ended up not reading this one, and I heard kind of like okay mixed things about it, so I just decided that I'm probably not going to read it and that time to let it go. I'm also getting rid of The Assassin's Curse and The Pirate's Wish by Cassandra Rose Clark. These have been on my shelves probably since I started BookTube, which was like a really long time ago, like 3 years now, and haven't read them. So probably not going to. I don't need them to take up more space. It's been years. Also getting rid of my arc of The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan, and the only reason that I'm getting rid of this is because I have a finished copy of the book, so that is no reason to keep two of them. I'm also getting rid of All Lined Up and All Broke Down by Cora Carmack. I think I would rather invest my time in reading about like fairies and magic than sports. I'm also getting rid of A Good Idea by Christina Moracho. This is a thriller that I did not read, but it could be good. I don't know, but I decided that I'm probably not going to read it because I've had it for a while. Next box. Next, I'm going to be getting rid of The Scourge by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Also getting rid of Holly Jolly Summer by Tiffany Stewart, which I am kind of sad about because I love Christmas and this sounded like it had such potential to be a very cute book. But then one of you thankfully left a comment on my video saying that the author was saying some racist things on Twitter, which I obviously do not support. So now I am completely turned off from reading the book because I don't want to support someone who would say things like that. So goodbye. The next two that I'm getting rid of are To Kill a Kingdom and Starry Eyes, and the only reason that I'm getting rid of these ones are because I have finished copies of them, so again, don't need duplicates. I'm also getting rid of Tess of the Road by Rachel Hartman. I just don't think that I'm interested in this. I don't know why, but it's just not calling to me, so I'm getting rid of it. Also getting rid of Rosemarked by Olivia Blackburn. Next I have Given to the Sea by Mindy McGinnis. I tried to read this and there were just so many different perspectives and I ended up DNFing it like early on into my reading experience and I just don't see myself going back to it. Also getting rid of Perfect 10 by Elle Phillips. I did not hear good things about this book. Also getting rid of The Distance Between Us by Casey West, which I actually really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really good and I love Casey West as an author, but even if I like a book, I don't necessarily have to keep it if I don't see myself rereading it, and I don't see myself rereading this one. I am also getting rid of Summer Unscripted by Jenn Klein, which I'm a little bit sad about because I really loved Shuffle Repeat, but I started reading this one and I didn't love it. I wasn't really into it, and then I heard that it was like nowhere near as good as Shuffle Repeat, so I kind of just decided I'm also getting rid of Jane Unlimited by Kristen Kishore. There's been a lot of mixed opinions on this one, but my friend Rachel, who usually has like the exact same opinions as me, she didn't like this one, and it was because she felt like she couldn't connect to the character at all, and that sounds like a major turnoff for me, and the fact that she didn't like it, I've just been like putting it off, and I'm like, you know what, I'm probably not gonna read this. Also getting rid of Things I'm Seeing Without You by Peter Bugnani. Also getting rid of A Study in Scarlet Women by Sherry Thomas. This I really enjoyed. I thought this was a really good Sherlock Holmes retelling, but with a female Sherlock. Do I want to keep this? Now I'm having second thoughts about this one. Do I think I'll reread it? No, I don't think that I'll reread it. Okay, I'm gonna let it go. Because I did really like this book, but I don't think that I'm gonna reread it, so. I'm also getting rid of They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This is an ARC edition. I figured if I want to read it, I'll take it out from the library. And I'm also getting rid of Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter, which I've had for a couple of years and haven't read, but I didn't hear great things about it, so I'm not going to read it. time to get more books from the other room. I think I might start going through things a little bit more quickly. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that whole like, sorry, don't be offended if I got rid of books that you love thing, but these just are books that I'm getting rid of, so sorry if you are upset about that. I'm getting a workout just like bringing all these books back and forth. So the first two books from this box are Life by Committee and OCD, A Love Story by Corianne Haydu. They both sounded like cute contemporaries, but I haven't read them and I've had them for years, so goodbye. Also getting rid of Reawakened by Colleen Hook. Then I'm getting rid of the Young Elites series by Marie Lu. I really loved Warcross. I have not read these, but I do actually have the first one digitally, so if I decide to read it, then I will read it that way. Also getting rid of Amy and Roger's Epic Detour. This is a Morgan Matson book that I loved, but I don't think that I'm going to reread it, and then I was having the same kinds of feelings like, oh, I need all of Morgan Matson's books, but I am just keeping the ones that I can see myself rereading. Also getting rid of The Disenchantments by Nina LaCour. Catching Jordan and Stealing Parker by Miranda Keanally. These were really fun romances. I enjoyed them and I don't see myself rereading them. I still have the rest of the series on my shelf and I am planning on reading those, and I'll probably read them and then get rid of them as well. Also getting rid of The Fashion Committee by Susan Juby. Also getting rid of The May Queen Murders. This one I'm kind of disappointed about because I really wanted to read this. I was like really looking forward to it, but I heard that there's like a lot of animal cruelty in it and I'm not about that. I don't think that I would enjoy reading that, so I think I'm gonna let this one go. Also getting rid of The Madness Underneath by Maureen Johnson, and this is actually kind of funny because this is the second book in the series and I really loved the first one, so I kept the first one, but I didn't like the second one, and then I also have the third one on my shelf, so I'm gonna read that one and see if I like it or not, but I didn't like the second one, so I was like, all right, I'll get rid of that one. Also getting rid of Princess of Thorns by Stacey J. I don't know, if I haven't read it in like 4 years, then I'm probably not going to, so it's just time to let it go. Next I have Tarnished City by Vic James. This was sent to me unsolicited, which means I didn't request it, and it's the second book in a series, which is why I'm getting rid of it, because I don't have, nor have I read the first book, so I don't really have a use for the second book. Also getting rid of Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst. Also getting rid of The Shadow Queen, The Traitor Prince, and The Wish Granter by CJ Redwine, which I like struggled so much with getting rid of these because they have the most beautiful maps that you've ever seen, but that's no reason to keep them. I thought the first one was really enjoyable. I did like it a lot. I heard not so great things about the second one, so I never ended up reading it, especially after having lukewarm feelings toward the first one. This one's probably gonna be a surprise, but I'm getting rid of Top 10 by Katie Cotugno. I love Katie Cotugno so much, but I don't foresee myself rereading Top 10. Also getting rid of When It's Real by Erin Watt. This one I read recently. I really enjoyed it, but I'm not gonna reread it. Also getting rid of Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I sadly did not enjoy this book, so I have no reason to keep it. Getting rid of The Conspiracy of Us and Map of Faith. I never got around to reading the third and final book in this series, and at this point I've kind of forgotten like what's gone on, and I just don't see myself like rereading these so that I can read that third one. Then I'm getting rid of Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. I have another copy of Foolish Hearts, which was the Owl Crate edition, and I'm keeping that one, so I just don't need 2 copies. Even though this one is pink and the other one is blue, still decided to keep the Owl Crate one versus this one. Also getting rid of Stars Above by Martha Meyer. This I kind of touched upon with Fairest. I thought this was really cute, but I'm probably not going to reread these stories. I just want to keep like the main series that I love. Next is Girls Made of Snow and Glass. This one I had been looking forward to reading. I never got around to it, and then I kind of heard mixed things about it. It does have a really pretty map. Not in this one because this was the ARC, but my library does have it if I decide I want to read it. I am also getting rid of Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo. I was like, oh, I should collect all of the DC Icons books, and I read Wonder Woman. I enjoyed it. The second half of the book was kind of lacking for me. I really liked the first half more, but I loved Batman by Marie Lu. I'm keeping that one, but I just don't see myself ever rereading the Wonder Woman one, so I'm unhauling it. Also getting rid of This Mortal Coil by Emily Sue Vada. This book I loved so much. This was actually one of my favorite books of last year. It's a biological thriller. It was really, really entertaining, really quick paced, and like I said, really loved it. But again, it's more of like a thriller type story, so I just don't see myself rereading it, but I am like dying for the second book, which comes out later this year, and it has a bright blue cover. It's so pretty. I am getting rid of The 1000th Floor and The Dazzling Heights by Katharine McGee. I really enjoyed this book very much. Don't see myself rereading it. Haven't gotten to this one yet, but my library has it. I'm also getting rid of Want by Cindy Pon, and I just don't know if I'm ever gonna get to this. Also getting rid of Mean Girls. I love Mean Girls, but I think it is a wonderful movie and I don't necessarily need the book. Then I've got some Sarah Auckler books. So I have Scandal, The Book of Broken Hearts, and Fixing Delilah, and these have been on my shelves for a really long time and I haven't read them, so I don't think that I'm going to. Then I'm also getting rid of Wing Jones by Catherine Weber. I honestly only bought this one just because I liked the sprayed pages, which is not a good reason to own a book. So I'm admitting that, and I'm getting rid of it. And I'm also getting rid of this edition of Summer Days and Summer Nights by Stephanie Perkins, well, edited by Stephanie Perkins, but with stories by lots of different authors. I have the UK hardback as well, and I just really don't need 2 copies of it. Next is another Sarah Auckler book, and it is 20 Boy Summer. Then I have the first Veronica Mars book, The $1,000 Tan Line, which I read and really enjoyed, but I'm not going to reread, but I still have the second one, and I do plan on getting to that. Then I've got Starry Night by Debbie Macomber, and this really looks like a very cheesy book, and the only reason that I bought it is because it was set in Alaska and I was going to Alaska, but I didn't read it beforehand, and I have since found other books set in Alaska, so I think I'm just gonna skip this one. Then I'm getting rid of This Song Will Save Your Life by Layla Sales, getting rid of Just One Day by Gail Forman, because I already have a copy of this book, so I still have this exact same thing on my shelf, and I just don't need 2 copies. Getting rid of Amber House. Then I'm getting rid of Maybe Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which is sad to me because I thought that I was gonna love this book so much, and I really only thought that it was okay. Like, it was fun and entertaining. Definitely not gonna reread it. We get that you like cinnamon buns. That was just like constantly repeated throughout this book, but yeah, I don't need it. The Bakersville Dozen, which is a young adult thriller, which was entertaining, but the ending was a little bit of a letdown for me, and I'm not going to reread it. Getting rid of the New Soul series by Jodi Meadows. I've had these forever, haven't read them, so I'm probably not going to. I am also getting rid of the Unearthly series by Cynthia Hand. I was always interested in reading these, but like now that I think I would have enjoyed them a lot if I had read them a couple of years ago, but I don't see myself reading them currently. Also getting rid of Alienated, Invaded, Starflight, and Starfall, all by Melissa Landers. Starfall I was mostly keeping because the cover is gorgeous, but I haven't read any of these. I don't see myself picking them up, so I'm letting them go. Also getting rid of Nowhere But Here by Katie McGarry. This is like a motorcycle romance book. I don't know. I just don't see myself gravitating toward it. Also getting rid of The Secret of a Heart Note, which I know is kind of like a magical realism type story, and I tend not to love those, so I don't think that I'm gonna read this one. Also getting rid of The Museum of Heartbreak, which I really like the cover. I think it's really cute, but again, I haven't read it and I've had it for a really long time, so I'm getting rid of it. And Between Us and the Moon. This is another young adult contemporary that I've had for a long time and haven't read. Getting rid of A Mad Wicked Folly by Sharon Biggs Waller. The Wrong Side of Right by Jen Marie Thorne. I actually have another copy of this. I decided to keep my paperback copy because I like the red, white, and blue on it better than this cover, but I'm excited to read that one. The Walls Around Us by Nova Ransuma. Hello, I Love You by Katie M. Stout, and A Darkly Beating Heart by Lindsay Smith. The Museum of Intangible Things by Wendy Wonder. This is going to be a controversial one, but The Darkest Minds trilogy by Alexandra Bracken. I read the first book. I didn't love it. It took me a really long time to read it, and I've never been inclined to pick up the ones after it. Vengeance Road by Erin Bowman. Haven't read it. Have had it forever. Where She Went by Gail Forman. Loved the first book. Didn't really love the second book. Two Summers by Amy Friedman. I've had it for a long time. Haven't read it. There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. I love her other books, but I felt like I was holding on to this one just because I like her as an author, but I didn't like this book. The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Great by Sarah Benincasa. Hotel Ruby by Suzanne Young. I just heard kind of meh things about it. Roomies by Sarah Czar and Tara Altabrando. I've had this forever. Haven't read it. Everything by Nicola Yoon. Codename Verity. I just tend not to read historical fiction. The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. I've heard really bad things about this book, so I'm passing on it. Ripper, which I've had for probably like 7 years now. Xmas, which I really enjoyed. I read this book in like 2 hours, and I'm a slow reader, so that was pretty shocking, but it was cute. I'm never gonna reread it. Wild Swans by Jessica Spotswood. This one I really enjoyed, but I'm not gonna reread it. Then, this might actually be surprising, but I am getting rid of a bunch of my word cloud classics because I feel like I have so many editions of classics at this point and I like a lot of the other ones better. Little Women, Emma, Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion, Sense and Sensibility, The Odyssey, and Romantic Poets. Keeping like Peter Pan, obviously, because I collect different editions of Peter Pan. I do kind of want to get the Anne of Green Gables version as well because I've got an Anne shelf going on. This giant movie book of A Monster Calls. I just don't need this movie book. The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. This one was enjoyable when I read it, but I didn't like the romance in it, which was kind of like the point of the book. Winter Song, did not like the second half of this book, but I loved the first half. Language of Thorns, this was the Fairy Loot edition, but I actually like the regular one better. Burning Magic, which was sent to me, and it's like the second book in a series, and I've never read or own the first one. Emma Burning by Shannon Hale. Book Outlet accidentally sent me 2 of them instead of 1, so I just don't need a duplicate copy. Wild Beauty, which I think that the actual cover and everything is so beautiful, so I like struggled with getting rid of this one, but I didn't like the book, so I need to let it go. My Ark of the Hazelwood. I already have 2 finished copies here, so I don't need this one. Rebel of the Sands by Alvin Hamilton. I have second copies of The Shadow Queen and The Wish Granter by C.J. Redwine. I'm getting rid of all 3, so I don't need these ones either. Valley of the Dolls by Jacqueline Suzanne. Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend by Katie Finn, which is actually Morgan Matson. Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas. This was an enjoyable read, but again, thriller, so not gonna reread it. Every Day by David Levithan. Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. Wanderlove by Kirsten Hubbard. The Poison Trilogy, the Poison Trilogy, I can't remember what it's called, by Maria V. Snyder. The Ask and the Answer, and Monsters and Men by Patrick Ness. And I actually already gave the first book to my friend Jill, who wanted to read it before the movie. The Gallagher Girls, the first 3 books in that series. For Darkness Shows the Stars. So You've Been Publicly Shamed. This is gonna be terrible to edit. Brooding YA Hero. Final Girls by Rayleigh Sager. Loved this one, but again, thriller. Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I have the beautiful Waterstones edition, so I don't need this one. The Disappearances, which I thought was only okay. Genuine Fraud, which I really disliked. Sorry, I'm like all over the place because this is just a lot. Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. Unearthed, this is an ARC version. I really liked this book, but I don't need to keep the ARC. And then an ARC of Beneath the Sugar Sky. I have a finished copy of this one. Tosh Hart's Tolstoy. I thought this was okay. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I love the Owl Crate cover, so I'm keeping that one and I'm getting rid of the other one because I don't really need 2. The Diabolic and the Empress. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This one I read and I thought that it was cute, but I didn't love it as much as other people seem to love it. 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray, which I have not read, but I don't think I'm going to. Warcross by Marie Lu. I have the UK hardcover edition and I like that one better than this one, so I'm going to keep that one and get rid of this one. But I love that book so much. That was one of my favorites as well. The Royal Series by Erin Watt. I read these. I really enjoyed them. They were really like fun, quick reads, but I'm not going to reread them. I feel like I've just gotten progressively more sweaty as I filmed this video, and I really should have done this like while I was unhauling instead of making so much work for myself now. But so it goes. Okay. That Summer by Sarah Dessen and Keeping the Moon by Sarah Dessen. I recently, well, this one I really disliked. I read this last year. Recently read this one. I thought that it was okay, but I didn't love it. But I am keeping Someone Like You. I did really like that one. Something Real by Heather Demetrios. Vivian Apple at the End of the World. Love Interest. The Season, which I think I can take out from the library because it sounds cute, but I just don't need a copy of it. Riesling, which I never read and I've had forever. Before She Ignites. The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. I liked the first half of this book so much and then didn't like the second half, and I kept it because it's pretty. And Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, which I was tempted to keep even though I have the really pretty Waterstones edition just because I do like the Lady Midnight cover, but I really don't need to. I think I knocked the camera. Whatever. Truly, Madly, Famously, and Famous in Love. Read Famous in Love in like a day, but I didn't really like it. But I'm watching the show, so I'm not going to read that next book. Summer of Sloan, which I did really enjoy this book, but I don't see myself rereading it. Far From You by Tess Sharp. This was really good, but it was a thriller. The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith. Standoff and Winger by Andrew Smith. Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith. Madly by Amy Allward. I really enjoyed this book, and I love the cover and everything, and then they changed it to this like horrible cover for the second one, so I got rid of that one long ago. And I'm sad about it because I really did like this series, but I'm like bitter about the cover change. Exchange. Wrath in the Dawn, The Rose and the Dagger. Loved this one. Didn't really love this one, but I don't think I'm gonna reread them. Meet Cute, 13 Reasons Why, What I Lost, Boys of Summer, the Lindburn Legacy series by Sarah Reese Brennan, Tell Me Three Things by Julie Buxbaum, Scarlett Epstein Hates It Here. Didn't hear great things about this one. The Heist Society series by Allie Carter, The Reader by Tracy Chee, and the Winners Trilogy by Marie Rutkowski, which I loved, but I don't think I'm going to reread. The Starbound Trilogy by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I read the first book and I enjoyed it. Haven't read the second two, but I've had these forever. Steelheart Series or the Reckoners Trilogy rather, by Brandon Sanderson. The first three books of the Black Prism series by Brent Weeks. I tried reading the first one. I read like 100 pages and I didn't get super into it, so I'm just going to give up. My US paperback editions of The Mortal Instruments. I have the UK paperback editions still, and I'm keeping those, and I might get US hardcover editions at some point, but I am getting rid of the paperbacks. I'm done now. That was 1,000,000 books, and I'm dizzy from running back and forth. I'm also sweating from all of the physical labor that this video entailed, so I hope that you enjoyed and appreciated that I went back and forth this many times just so I could show you what I'm unhauling. I know that people love these videos, so I wanted to do it so that you guys could see, but man am I glad to be done. Okay, that's it for this video, and I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!